Welcome back, astronomical learners. And so it is week 3 of our Freebie Friday series. And today I wanted to introduce you to a free tutor training resource guide. So I'm doing this because I want to encourage more people, especially moms like myself, where maybe you don't fit in that perfect 9 to 5, but you're looking for something to supplement your household income. Tutoring is something that is accessible. So if you're ready to learn about some free resources, stay tuned. All right, so if you've watched the previous 2 videos, you know that you need to first go to my website. You need to go to the shop option and you're going to find the virtual tutoring free tutor training resources. And so once you do everything, you will go to this PDF file. So why did I make this? Because I want more competition? No, it's because I know that I'm not always going to have time to tutor. Like right now, I'm on a tutoring break, but I do know other people that would be wonderful and great tutors, especially fellow homeschool moms, or during the summer. I'm sure there's several parents that, maybe you were successful in teaching your kids to read and you don't realize that you can teach other kids as well. Or like people like my sister-in-law who's just coming out of high school. And if you take the free training online, you can become a tutor. And then if you go to college, you can also apply for tutoring jobs through that as well. And also, just because in my personal experience, I didn't really have a guideline. So this is something I wish I would have had sooner. So, first of all, for literacy and language foundations, I highly recommend Cox Campus. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've said this and told people I recommend it for OBGYNs, pediatricians, parents, teachers, principals, school board members, superintendents, anybody who is invested as a stakeholder in literacy in a community. You should know how to teach a child to read. And it's not through guessing and it's not through read alouds, it's through structured literacy. So, what do I love about Cox Campus? Well, it's from my state, so I'm biased. Also, it's free. And they're saying it's going to be free forever, and it is CEU accredited. So, if you're a teacher and you're looking for accreditation, especially within the Georgia literacy law model, yes, you can use it. Essentially, they use oral language, which is the foundation for literacy. They move into emergent literacy. Then they have a structured literacy program. They have a handwriting program, and they're even including more classes on and on as they continue to grow. The second resource I highly recommend is Reading Universe. So this is a collaboration with Reading Rockets and other people who have been working with them for years as advocates. So they have a full taxonomy on their website that explains exactly, explicitly, how a student goes from learning to read to reading to learn and how to track all those individual skills. And they also have a free paraprofessional training program which I do highly recommend because it explains in detail how to use dictation. It's not just basic, boring spelling tests. It's really helpful to empower not just the student, but also the teacher because you need to know if a student can't spell a word, what part of the taxonomy do you need to go back and review, or what do they need to be taught? Also, I highly recommend the Carnegie Mellon University core tutoring methodology. So I found this randomly on a Saturday night and I was like, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. I wish I had this. So a lot of times in colleges, if you sign up for tutoring, they might give you in-person training, but this I found online and it was pretty explicit and you have the textbook and everything. And so the manual outlines the standard operational guidelines, the behavioral benchmarks, and especially when it comes to tutor mentorship, it's very explicit. It helps you understand the I do, we do, you do model, which is by Dr. Anita Archer, but most explicit advocates will tell you that as well. And then we move on. There's also Google education training that is free. My current library also offers even further Google training that's free, so you might want to look into that as well. But for the education portion, they have the basic use of Google Workspace. So an example is like I use a lot of Google in my tutoring. I'm a virtual tutor, so I use Google Slides, Google Docs, Google Classroom, and they have a lot on their free base plan. But if you ever want to invest and spend more, of course, a lot of that integrates more, especially if you're using Google Meet for your tutoring platform. If you pay, there's a lot more add ons that you can use. Also, there is Microsoft Learn. Now, I do have a Microsoft computer, so I'm biased. I do like Microsoft products as well. The Microsoft Learn platform has a very good kind of interactive model. So if you click on the learning path, they have a lot of things integrated. If you're a parent and your child's interested in Microsoft education, they have a training portal so you can kind of see firsthand what would that look like. But I do really like that their dyslexia uh, learning platform is inspired in a collaboration with uh, Made by Dyslexia, which is a UK-based organization, and they're actually dyslexic adults. So that was wonderful as well. I also highly recommend OpenStax. So OpenStax is used by a lot of colleges, even my own, as a free resource, and you can donate to support them as well. But they have a lot of higher education textbooks. But what I really like in my tutoring is they have a textbook called College Success, and they also have one made for high schoolers. So I use this as kind of like a scaffold to show students that, hey, even if you don't go to college, because there are some students right now that are already saying they want to go the vocational route, they don't want to go to college, but you still need to know certain skills to get through high school, get your GED so you can apply them to the workforce. And it even includes like certain things like for comprehension, like, hey, you're going to need to know how to do this, especially for formatting essays and understanding the difference between APA format, MLA format. And they also have an interactive digital clearinghouse where if you want to upload something that you've made, you can do that as well. But essentially, this is your little checklist here. That if you want to know the pedagogy or mindset, definitely use that Tutor center that's online. If you want more specific instructional content, there's Cox Campus and Reading Universe. But if you just want to know digital logistics of how you can apply your own knowledge, I highly recommend the Google Workspace training and the Microsoft Educator Academy training. But ultimately, this is just something I wish I had before I started my tutoring journey because it really helps you feel more confident, especially when you're pitching yourself to a new family. But also, don't forget, it's still July and you have access to free ebooks, especially the ones I've written. And if you've been following me and you didn't know I am an author, you might not realize that one of my newest books is How Hard Can It Be? Mastery of English Literacy. And it's kind of where I like info dump all of my knowledge when it comes to science of reading, structured literacy, and how I feel about it. But I try to make it in a parent friendly, easy to learn way, just because as well, it's something I would have wanted a few years ago. So essentially, you don't even have to use this freebie, but if you see something that you think somebody else could benefit from, please share this video with them, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for another Friday where I will show you a freebie. But other than that, thank you so much for watching.